here at the Hiwassee Refuge in both Ray and Meigs County, and we've been out looking at the bird life here, which is pretty extraordinary. Beginning with the Sandhill Cranes that are here, and we saw bald eagles, we saw some American White Pelicans. This is a wildlife refuge area, so they grew crops here for many years, mostly corn, to attract geese and other waterfowl. Sandhill Cranes in particular, in their migration route, they really like corn. So they were stopping by here to refuel on their way south. Many of them go down to Florida for the winter. And then they came here and started seeing the corn and had protection here. And so many of them started spending the winter months. Right now we have as many as, usually it's between maybe from 10 to 20,000 Sandhill Cranes spend a winter in this area right now. They have an incredibly bugle call or trumpeting call that's very distinctive, but many times you'll hear them as they migrate or fly over, you'll hear that bugling call. It's very distinctive. It's a very primordial sound. It's a beautiful sound. There aren't many places in the country you can see this many Sandhill Cranes. They usually follow a pretty narrow pathway down to Florida. They are big, they're dynamic, they're really interesting. I mean, when people go bird watching, so much of the time the birds are tiny or they're hard to identify. There's no doubt about a Sandhill Crane. They're a large bird you can easily see. They're in large numbers and their sounds are cool. So they kind of draw people. They're very photogenic too. Very pleasing to the average person to see and easy to see. One good thing about the Hiwassee area is there's just so much biomass of birds here with all the obvious cranes and great blue herons that breed in the area and the white pelicans and so on. 123, 125 years ago, people once a year were doing what they called a side hunt, which was a time when people go out and shoot every bird they could find. So they were out killing birds. And somebody said, hey, why don't we, instead of killing them, why don't we start counting them? So that's how the Christmas count started. The time period between December 14th and January 5th, many areas had their own count. So Chattanooga has its own Christmas bird count on December 17th. Basically, it's a 15-mile diameter circle, and it's divided up into pie segments or pie pieces, and there's leaders and groups that go out in all those different areas and look for and count every bird they can find. The data is used by scientists and researchers, so it's a really good way to collect data. People enjoy it too. It's fun to get out and look for birds and what we call citizen science. That is somebody who's just a novice at bird watching can really help science by gathering that data. Not everybody can get out and do the actual counting, but it's a really good day for you just to appreciate birds. Get out and see the birds in your backyard. Go out and come to the refuge on those days and just appreciate the bird life we have in Southeast Tennessee. It's very exceptional.